What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jargon, man. We back with another crazy dope interview, man. For our newest entry in HBCU Fridays, man. We got my boy, the guy needs no introduction, man. KJ Black. Tell KJ what's up. Tell everybody what's up, KJ.
And what's going on, man? My boy on the West Coast, man. They say that's the East Coast. I don't know yet, though. I gotta find out.
They say it's what?
They say it's the best coast. They say the West Coast is the best coast, so I don't know.
Besides paying for stuff, I have to agree with that, man. It's lovely out here, brother.
Well, then it ain't my best coast. I ain't paying all that money.
That's real talk, man. Hey, yeah. I often wonder why I'm out here sometimes.
Nah, I'm stingy with mine. So anybody know me, know I'm stingy with mine.
Nothing wrong with that, man. That's a sign of greatness, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, KJ, man. So glad to have you back on the show, man. You one of my original guests I had about 3 years ago, was it?
Man, we did. Matter of fact, we did it in person. Was it at Prairie View? I think.
Yeah, it was at Prairie View.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So second time around.
There you go.
Been a little minute.
There you go.
Changed a little bit.
I like it, man. So you've done a few new things since the last time we spoke. You got a new logo you repping on your chest since the last time we spoke.
Man. Yeah, it's a little different.
And that's, on and upward, man. I'm always about upward mobility, man. So for those who, a lot of people do know who you are. Your name holds a lot of weight in the HBCU circles. But for those who don't, man, kind of give us a little backdrop of, what made KJ Black a person that people know
about. Man, that's a big deal. So just started out, I'm a kid from Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky. Played high school ball there. Was recruited by Willie Taggart, who was previously the head coach at Florida State. Now is at FAU, and played 3 years at West Kentucky. Actually played 2 of them. Had a handful of starts, so I played a lot there. Things didn't work out with the head coach there, so I started shopping myself. My father and I. Back then, you had to do the DVDs and send the DVDs out.
Absolutely.
Now you just send the whole link and you good. But I remember sending out about 50 to 100 DVDs to every Black college and FCS program in the country, hoping to get somebody to reply. And when it came down to decision time, it was between Prairie View and North Carolina Central. And took my visit to Prairie View, met Coach Frazier, met the staff, met the players, and it was like home. And so I transferred there and played 2 years there. Won the first SWAC title at Prairie View in over 40 years. Beat Grambling for the first time in over 40 years. We should have beat New Mexico State, lost by 2 points. They called a touchdown back, so we should have won that game. I don't care what anybody says. Did my thing at Prairie View, then did the arena football thing for a few years, came back to Prairie View. I think it was 2013, and did 2 years as a GA under head coach Heisman Northern, who gave me my shot, called me out the blue, and gave me an opportunity that I was not even, shopping for or working behind the scenes. He just called me because at the time when I was playing, he was a defensive coordinator, so he remembered me, and I guess I left an impression. He gave me an opportunity, and 2 years after that, Willie Simmons became the head coach, and he hired me on the spot to be his quarterback coach. And 5 years later, I'm down as co-offensive coordinator. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
There you go, man. And you're like, what, about 30 years old, huh?
31, yep.
31, yeah. I know you're a little younger than me. So, yeah, man, that's a heck of a thing. And I want to accentuate, man, something that you did is something I did as well when I transferred. Is like, guys, if you're not in the position where you like to be, go market yourself, man. Like, you went and sent your DVD to who anybody would look at it. Man, I did the same thing, brother. When I left Stephen F. Austin, that's when the movie Drumline came out. And I was like, man, I want to go to HBCU, man.
That's a little different, no? They ain't doing that. Yeah,
I was like, hold on, man. And I remember, man, calling Southern University, man. At the time, Coach Job just got fired. And the assistant coach, I can't remember that. I want to say his name was Smith or something like that. He was going to take me sight unseen from SFA. But he's like, man, I would bring you on, but I don't know if I'm going to have a job because Coach Job just got fired. And, Southern ended up not working out for me. I ended up going to JUCO. But I did the same thing you did, brother. I sent my resume to whoever would look at it, man, as high as UT, all the way down to Sam Houston, SFA, Prairie View, man. I'm not saying Prairie View down, but, in the D1 hierarchy system, let's keep it a book. But I'm not upset of where I chose to play, just like yourself, man. I didn't have the same success you had, but you know, it's a great thing putting that purple and gold on, man. I'm sure you know.
No doubt. No doubt. And they get on me around here. Sometimes I might wear a t-shirt or some shorts out here, man. And they be like, Prairie View, but don't you work at FAM? I said, I do, but I'm an alumni of Prairie View. Like I got 2 degrees. Like I'm gonna wear purple and gold now.
There you go, man. And shout out to
Sharonda,
Sharonda, man. What's up, girl?
Yeah,
See Sharonda. Yeah. And man, that's people, a lot of people don't know, man. If you've never been to Prairie View's campus, it's not what you think. I'm from Houston, so I know you from where you originally from again, Kentucky. So it's less prevalent. You know about it. Like I'm a 2nd generation Prairie View guy. Like all my aunties went to Prairie View. A lot of my cousins. I just like I'll never go to PV because I always heard the bad. I didn't really go to campus like that. I was like, nah, I'm good. Till I went, it was all over.
It's a little different. But you guys think I'm from Kentucky, so up there all we got is Kentucky State, and they don't have a great reputation in the city. So I was like, man, especially coming out of high school, I was like, man, I'm not going HBCU. Like I'm better than and then when I had to take a different route, my dad brought it up to me again. He was like, man, you should think about HBCU. So then once I started talking to Coach Frazier, he was really the reason why I took the visit. Like it wasn't about the school, it wasn't about playing. I was just like, man, I like this dude. We connect on another level. I was like, let me go down here and check it out out of respect for him. And I got there and it was way different than what I thought it was going to be. Like I could care less that we didn't have a facility, that we played on a high school field, I ain't care about none of that.
Yeah.
Just because of the love and the feel of the people at Prairie View and the connection I made instantly with the players, man, and my position coach, Coach Mike Bryant, like it was just like, yes, everything was yes. So I looked past the shiny stuff and I looked really deeper inside of what I wanted and who I was and who I wanted to be. And it worked out for me.
Yeah, I would say so too, man. They're bringing the championship home from 40 years previous. And for y'all who don't know, man, KJ got his face on side of the new stadium and stuff, man.
Here we go.
Man, I'm just saying, man. That's something that's normal that people ain't got going, man.
On the home side, so and I ain't gonna lie, I use it as a recruiting tool, so I can't act like I don't be saying it.
I did, man. I'm about to call the truth on this show, man. You put your work in, man. And again, back when I didn't even know you, bro, like I remember when we first that championship season, we beat Grambling, and I'm not envious of Grambling, but at the same time, I understand how tough it is beating a program like that. It's the definition of success, not only in the HBCU world, but in the FCS world. Like Grambling is the standard, man. They put the most NFL players out there from a program that size in history. Shout out to Coach Eddie Robinson. He set that precedent there, man. And so how did it feel, when you got a chance to slay the dragon, the proverbial dragon, in Grambling, man?
I ain't gonna call him no dragon now. I still don't like that.
Fair enough.
But I mean, it was surreal, and to really see what it meant to the alumni in the stands. Like I remember going up after the game, like this team went into the stands, and I remember seeing like older generation alumni, Prairie View graduates, like in their 50s and 60s, literally crying, saying they've never seen Prairie View beat Grambling, like in tears.
Yeah,
like it was different. Like I was like, wow, this really is crazy to see that we just won a football game, but these people are like, it's like that we have won a championship. So it was a different. It's a day I'll never forget, man. Is playing that game, and me and my boys, we talk about it every time we get together. But I mean, it was a surreal day, a surreal moment, man, and it means a lot, knowing that I was a part of that team that did that, and so I hold that rivalry and the university, Prairie View, a special place in my heart, man, just because of what it means to me and what happened and what we accomplished.
Most definitely, man. I remember the time I was a grad assistant on the basketball team, and I remember going to that, man. I was just like, because you say they ain't the dragon, and I feel that because you're a competitor. That's your sport. I'm with that.
I ain't giving them nothing.
As a little bit more in the experience at Prairie View, I want to say that was the dragon, bro. I remember my senior year, we lost 70-7, man. Bruce Eugene went to work, dog.
He's a great, though. You got to give him his pride. He's a legend. I know Bruce. I met Bruce. He's a legend.
He's a legend for sure, man. I ain't never met nobody that fat, that mobile, with an arm like that, man.
And I say all the time as I'm recruiting quarterbacks, like he got elite arm talent. Like you watch him on film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I watched it live. I didn't like it. So yeah, man, so you got that, you won the championship, and I'm sure that sentiment was mirrored, that it just was surreal seeing how important that championship was to the university. Because again, we're talking about a school that had the death sentence for 10 years and just the worst football program literally on the planet. It felt like, you know what I'm saying? And man, it was just great for you, for that 09 team to come by, man, and with you definitely being at the vanguard. And I'll talk about one more thing with that. And when I knew that you was going to be a little something different than I've been seeing, and I saw some really good quarterbacks like Mark Spivey. I seen Buford on my time. I seen even now like Jalen Morton. Something that stuck out to me about yourself is when y'all played that game against New Mexico State. And y'all, like, that's usually a guaranteed game. Let's keep it a book. That's a game you take to put money towards the program. That's a game, for those who don't understand, that's a game you're not supposed to win.
No. When you put them guys on the schedule, you just worried about not getting hurt and you worried about getting paid. That's it.
Absolutely. And I remember listening to that game on the radio, on the PV Sports Radio. And this is before, I mean, it's come a long way with the online streaming, but back then, I remember hearing Moon talk about the game. I was like, man, this is terrible. I can't see the game. And I remember when you came in for Buford, man, and you had that, I think you had a quarterback keeper or something you did. You went for like 60.
It was so the quick backstory is Buford was starting. He got hit late out of bounds by a New Mexico State player, and he retaliated and threw the ball at him. He got a personal foul, so Frazier pulled him out, like to yell at him, to get on him, not because he wanted me to get in there and play. He did it because Buford did something stupid. Yeah. And so while he was doing his thing with Buford, I went in for a play, and they called a pass play. So I dropped back, and they covered everything. I just seen that thing part like this. I was like, well, I'm gone. So I took off. I ran for like 20-some yards. And then if you ask my boys about it, if you ask Anthony Weed and Anthony Beck, those guys that were all Americans on that team, they'll say Buford put his helmet back on and ran onto the field, and Frazier chased him and grabbed him and said, whoa, wait a minute.
Oh, man.
So they called a few more plays, and then Frazier was like, nah, that's it. He's staying in. And so the rest was history. But it's funny, like, and that's what I was telling you earlier before we got on, like, I had to have that same talk with a couple of my players before. Like, don't let your legacy be determined by somebody in front of you. Like, just take advantage of it. Like, I didn't do that. That's why I would have started in my first game. So it's funny how things happen, and that one play has, gave me the opportunity to play and not a coach, and get me to where I am now. So it's funny how things happen.
Funny how things happen, man. That definitely was your coming out party, man. Again, we knew you was a big transfer, but in these ranks, you see people transfer who don't quite understand what the swag is about just yet, and they don't do as well. They think, it's not guaranteed you're going to come and kill just because you came from a bigger program, per se.
Different world, man.
It's a different world. It's a different world. And what I wanted to kind of, and I can kind of testify too with, I almost, man, when I left Stephen F., I went to JUCO at Mountain View College in Dallas. I almost quit the team because I had a guy ahead of me who had like a 45-inch vertical. But what I found out is he couldn't really play like that. But on paper, just in practice, man, he was amazing. I had bounce too, but Bo had way more bounce than me. And I just and I almost had not enough hours just because I can have an excuse. You know what I'm saying? I was like, and then my coach called, he's like, dude, you don't have 12 enrolled hours. I was like, oh, for real? And he put me in some BS blow off. I knew what I was doing. I didn't want to lose a year of eligibility. I was like, man, I ain't gonna play over Bo. He caught me, and I'm glad he did, man. And I took his spot game one. Ain't look back, bro.
If it's meant to be, it'll be. So
yeah, absolutely, man. So I love that story, bro. I never knew that backstory, but I saw it from a fan perspective.
That's a little insider story. Like, a lot of people don't know.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So you got this illustrious playing career. You started off being a GA at Prairie View. Oh, and I want to say one thing I liked about Coach Frazier, man. You mentioned how you made that transition on the fly. And I want to say you the quarterback, KJ, when y'all beat Southern at Southern.
In the rain game. Yep.
Yeah. And I want to say y'all had a play. It was on the left side of the field. You went deep to one of the guys, and he dropped it, and Frazier was like, go back to him. Go back to him. I don't know if you was the quarterback that year. Was you the quarterback, bro?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that, man. I was like,
I think I threw it to Gabe, because I came back and threw it again.
Yeah, you threw it again.
Yeah.
That's something you don't see in football, like, run the same play.
Yeah. You don't care if you know it. You don't care about none of that. Like, run the play, man.
I've never seen that like that in my life, man. Because in football, that's a sin. You don't let nobody know what you're running. Even if it's the same play, you disguise it.
Okay.
That was some backyard football I've ever seen it, man. What's up, Candace? Candace say you the GOAT, man.
Nah. That's the GOAT. We gonna talk about GOAT.
Really?
Yeah.
If we gonna talk about GOATs.
Talk about women's basketball GOAT. Don't talk about that now.
Candace, the truth, man. Candace was part of a female dynasty. Her Gotti and Bird, and there's a lot of them, man. Yeah.
It was the time at Prairie View where people would come and fill out for the women's basketball game, and that was them.
Man, I played ball. Everybody was want to see the girls. I'm like, oh man, come on, man. What y'all doing?
They were like that. They were like that back then. They were.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree with that, brother. So we gave you a little, a bit of backdrop of who you are in your humble beginnings and what built your profile. And so now you're being considered, a very good offensive-minded coach. Let's talk a little bit about the season. Before we talk about the season, let's talk about what's going on right now, man, with this, the normalcy all changed up with the COVID-19 situation, man. So tell me, as a Division I college coach, how does that change your world, man?
Wow. Personally, it hasn't changed it too much because I'm just not an outgoing person. I'm a homebody. I can do everything. I'm the technology guy, so you can ask my wife. Whenever something broke, she just bring it to me. When something ain't working right, she bring it to me. So I've always been a homebody, but from a professional standpoint, it's changed a lot. I wasn't able to get out and recruit my area, which is Atlanta. I can't get out there and recruit that area. I can't recruit locally here in Tallahassee or South Georgia. I can't do anything. I can't even go to work. So it's changed a lot. We've had to adjust, which I think is something that my head coach does well, man. He's a master of making big things small things. So nothing is ever too big for him. Nothing is ever too much that we can't overcome. He is the master of adjusting, and he's taken all of us from the coaches to the players, man, and helped us adjust to what's going on and make plans to be more virtual, to still be efficient and effective from home. And we're doing the best we can right now, but it's a hard time. It's a rough time for a lot of family, a lot of folks. And we talk about it all the time. We pray about it all the time, and we just try to make the best of the situation right now and hope for better days. But right now, we're doing a great job of just following the lead of our leader, and trying to do a good job at home and trying to be ready for the fall, because we all believe that we're going to have a season. Just trying to be prepared for that, because everybody's going to be under the same circumstances. Everybody's going to have the same amount of practices, same amount of strength conditioning time. So we just got to be ready to go when they say go.
Yeah, I like that, man. And and I think this is going to be a blessing in disguise for, especially like you said, someone who's technologically in sound, like you said you are. This is a time where coaches got to evolve, man. Out of necessity, kind of you have to now, so you can use this same type of approach to us going forward. Because as I tell coaches all the time, man, these kids are buried in their phones now, man. If you want to reach them, man, you hit them in that virtual space, man. And not only that,
they've already asked me, my players have already asked me, say, Coach, when we start the season on Sundays, can we just do virtual meetings like this? Because we watching film and they taking notes and everything right now on their phones. They can watch. I can hold a meeting on my phone and all that. They love it.
Yeah.
So it might change the game seriously. It might change the way that college coaches, professional coaches work during the week. Usually you hear it a lot. You hear coaches get to the office at 4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah.
When now they can be just as efficient here from home. It might change the way the game is worked behind the scenes. So we'll see.
Agreed, man. It's just a natural progression of things, man. It's called optimization, man. You got to roll with the times, and I think this time is making a lot of people rethink some of the normal practices, like you said, those early, I'm gonna say these early ass meetings where, sometimes you're into it, sometimes you're not, man. Let's just call the buck.
Yeah, I'm not a morning guy. Look, what time is best for you? Noon.
Yeah.
About noon, I'm up. I'm ready to go. So yeah.
And so your noon is my morning right now. So like we talked about before the show, I was struggling, brother.
Hey, at 9 o'clock, I'm still trying to get up, man.
Man. I'll be at work, man. They do these sales calls in the morning. And anybody who knows me, they know I'm nice at sales, but boy, I'm not good on the when they want you to role play in the morning. I'm like, listen, man, don't call on me.
Nope.
So yeah, brother. So you had a new program, man. Let's talk a little bit before we get into the season. you mentioned about this new facility that's going down, man. I want to talk more about that. I want to see HBCUs these great facilities. So what's coming down the pipeline at FAMU, man?
Actually, we just started this new campaign. It's called the All In campaign. Our new athletic director, Courtney Gaucher, has come in and done a great job as far as setting the plan, putting it in black and white, showing exactly what we're going to get and what we need to get it. And so he kind of recently, launched that All In program or All In campaign, which is going to upgrade our weight room, our locker room, our football coaches' offices, and the head coach office. Is actually going to create he's going to create a hallway which tells the story of FAMU football going back from the early 1900s all the way to now, telling the great players and teams that have come in before us, and tell that story as you're walking through the facility, which I thought was an awesome idea. And we're going to upgrade the training room, all that. So, and this is something that's been long overdue. If you talk to the alumni here at FAMU, they'll tell you that this should have happened years ago. But it kind of just had to wait until the right people were in place and for the right time, and now is the time. We've been successful the last couple of years on the field, so the attention is back on FAMU. So now it's time to shine bright with getting that facility and continue to put FAMU back to where it was, on top of the mountain.
Yeah, man, and shout out to Gavin, man. He said you and Willie doing y'all thing out there in the 850. I don't know what that means, so he must know what that Florida's talking about.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. This is his brother used to play professional baseball, man. That's a good brother right there, man.
Okay. What's
I about to say? So we got the new initiative going. I want to say, man, and these don't have to be your words. These are mine. Mm-hmm. Sometimes in the HBCU model, a lot of alum are scared to progress. So once you kind of break through that mold and put forth an initiative and get people behind it, because they always say, oh, it's going to cost so much money. It's going to cost so much money. And this used to frustrate me so much, man. I used to be a part of a group called the SWAC page. And like I would talk to alum, who were quote unquote the moving shakers on campus. And they just weren't big on progression, man. They wanted things to stay the same. I'm like, listen, man, you got to get ahead of stuff, man.
Yep.
You got to get ahead of stuff.
All the world, man. It makes all the difference in the world, because if you don't have a facility, you're almost, as a coach, you're almost scared to bring kids on campus because
Hell
you
yeah,
away from what you got.
Hell yeah.
Just to keep it, just to show you and keep it in perspective. Imagine I'm trying to recruit you to Prairie View, as well as Sam Houston State is trying to recruit you to Prairie View.
Bingo.
You take a visit to each one. Well, I'm going to go to Sam Houston because Sam Houston has what I need, and to be honest with you, just this, type of athlete we have today, I would be more inclined to go do more work because you have nicer things than Prairie View does. Some of those kids aren't cut like that. They can't just get up and be self-motivated. But if I walk into a nice facility, it's going to, uplift me. It's going to empower me to do work. So, sometimes, that's just the times that we live in. Some of these kids, they need to see it before they do it. Now, all of them are not like that, but some of them are. And so you hurt yourself as a program if you don't have something to show off, if you can't bring the people here.
Absolutely.
You can have the greatest relationships and all that, but that don't always still see the deal.
I agree.
Sometimes you got to have a facility, you got to have, the pedigree, you got to have the tradition. Everything counts. So if you're lacking in one area, that might be the reason why you don't get, a prospect. So it makes a big difference.
And I think a lot of HBCUs kind of lean a little heavily on, hey man, it's a whatever to one ratio, women to men. And I get that. That's cool, but that's only get you your foot in the door, man.
That ain't everything.
They ain't everything, man.
No, man. No.
They ain't everything. Yeah. So I think you hit that spot on, man. And it's just something, again, when you get minds in there, like you said, when the right people come about, those when the initiatives get passed. So the right people got to pitch it the right way to the people who actually can make the wheel move. And so I think that's a great thing y'all got going, man. And so my only question is, what color purple are you gonna have your office?
Oh, look, so you trying to get me fired?
All right, so moving forward, man, like y'all had a phenomenal season, brother. And to be honest, we got that relationship that we've cultivated for years. I would have been paying attention to y'all even if you wasn't there, to be honest, man. I'm all about, even though the MEAC, I'd rather, my SWAC schools be at the top, man, but I'm all for HBCUs doing their thing, man, in the football world. Y'all had a 9-2 season, 7-1 in the MEAC, man. Just tell me a little bit how this season was, man.
Well, I got a different outlook because I took the job in the middle of camp. So I
sure did.
like the third week of August, I took the job, and I had to be there. I got there like the first week of the season, like that Sunday before our first game, I got there. So I'm that first week, like we're game planning, and I'm really trying to catch up at the same time. So that first week I was lost. I was just trying to see, how things have changed because I worked with Coach Sims before in the past for 3 years. So I was trying to see what they've changed and what's going on and what's what. But I mean, the first thing I noticed when I got here was something I just talked about earlier. Like these players, these kids here are cut different. They don't care about facility. They don't care about not having the support staff they need. They just want to ball. That's all they want to do. If they hurt, they don't care. If it's not broke, they're going to get on the field.
That's what you want.
They literally grind for each other, and they grind to be better, man. And that team was special from the get-go. Like, we have talent. Like, we have probably 4 or 5 guys that'll get pro shots. Like, we have talent. But it's the mentality of this team that makes them different, and the reason why they won 9 games. I mean, if you think about it, this senior class that just left, in the first year, they won 1 game their first year, their freshman year.
Sheesh.
And then they left with a 9-win season. And somebody claimed them as the national champs. BCSN claimed them as national champs.
So
from 1 win to 9 win is huge. That's big time. That's almost what we did at Prairie. Like that's
huge turnaround.
What? And I think they had 2 or 3 coaches, if I'm not mistaken. So for them to overcome all of that and the facility, which now is finally being upgraded to win 9 games, and literally win. I think they won 8 in a row. I mean, 8 or 9 in a row. That's big time. So, I mean, it was a special team from the get-go. I knew it as soon as I seen it. We had the leadership, we had the talent, we had the coaching. Everything was in place. So, and they just had to put the work in, and they did.
Then that's what's up, man. And one thing, and I totally forgot you left in the middle of camp. And I want to give you a lot of kudos on this. I mean, and somebody hit you up about one of my middle school cats I had, man. He was a great athlete. He decided that, football wasn't for him, and he actually going to Prairie View. But I told you about him. You looked at his film, and you gave him a shot. And, again, I'm keeping names out of this, but you showed me love off of strength again, off of our relationship. You gave him a look, even though it turned out not, he just he wanted to be a student at the end of the day. And I got his mom just constantly hitting me up, like, I mean, I'm working for him. Like, let me just see. Coach Black busy. Yeah. But you gave him a shot, man. I really appreciate that, man.
I was trying to get him in there.
Man, you was, man.
I had him ready to go. Like I had the spot for him, but I'm glad he was bold enough to say, you know what, this ain't what I want to do. Instead of going out there and wasting his time, because it ain't about us. We get players every year, but Absolutely. He could have wasted his time and made things harder for himself doing something he didn't want to do. So you at least got to give him the props to do that. So
you got to respect the decision of a man, man. Even though 18, that may not have been the best decision for him. Well, I can't say that. He knows his life better than me. But I really appreciate you extending that to me. Next time I know, I'm gonna ask the kid, like, you sure you want to do this before I go to the coach? So now it's a lesson learned, but it's all good.
Because the coach at a young age, you can't text them and find out. You got to get in their face.
Yeah.
Look at the eyes. They'll tell you everything. Yeah.
Facts, man. So I just want to give you kudos on that, man. I really, even though it didn't do nothing for me, I wanted to help that young man out, and I appreciate you at least entertaining the idea, brother. Yeah, so we got a question, man, from Gavin, man. He said, glad you guys are signing local kids, man. That's big for the area and the school. It wasn't like that for years. When Fam was winning, they had a lot of local kids in the stadium packed up on Saturdays. Well, I guess when the question is more of a statement, because he is from Tallahassee. Mm-hmm. So, you know more than me, man. So is that kind of a new model that you guys are going towards, getting more local talent?
Well, that's what we had. Well, at least I had heard from others that the regime before us, they weren't big on signing local guys. Meaning local guys are, the Tallahassee kids, the Big Bend kids, which is the area between Tallahassee and Jacksonville, Florida. They weren't really big in signing those guys, but we kind of made an emphasis to make sure that every coach on the staff has a part of Tallahassee. So we each have a few schools that we hit. And when you got, 9 to 10 coaches hitting a number of schools here, I mean, we can really focus in on those couple of schools and make sure that no stone is unturned. We know everything about every kid here. So if there's a player in Tallahassee, we know about them. And we evaluate them and make sure we know, what they can bring to the team. And if we need to make a decision to go after them, we go after them. It's been good for us. We got a lot of starters from Tallahassee area. A lot of them, even Jacksonville. For Tallahassee and Jacksonville, we try to do our best to make sure that they don't leave North Florida. If they can play, we go after them hard. So, yeah, we're trying to do better with that, Gavin, and we appreciate that.
Man, we got Spivey. Man, Spivey, I just gave you a shout-out early in the chat, man. What's up, brother?
That was my mentor right there. He was Spivey was, I think, either a student assistant or a graduate assistant when I was playing, man. So I leaned a lot on Spivey when I was playing. So that's my guy.
Man, and like I told you, that's one of the first good quarterbacks, good to great quarterbacks I saw at Prairie View. Me and Spivey played around the same time. So I remember during his era, the '06 era, when we started to kind of finally, I think we beat Southern at some stadium, some high school stadium in Houston. I was just like, damn, we beat Southern.
Yeah.
You know, like, whoa. You know what I mean? So Spivey was behind center, man. And yeah, man, that's my guy, man.
Spivey got, I think Spivey first team or first ballot Hall of Fame. Like first time he was eligible, he got in.
I believe so.
Spivey was a guy, man. He was a guy.
Spivey was OG, man.
Like Spivey when I grow up, man.
Man, Spivey Pops is my favorite brother, man. Shout out to Spivey Senior, man. And so yeah, man, that's my guy, man. Mm-hmm. All right, so man, I think you kind of underselling your program a little bit, man. Y'all are ranked number 24 on the FCS poll, which is great. In the top 25 overall.
At one point, we were 13 at one point, man. Like we was trying to get in the top 10.
Yeah.
And if we weren't under sanctions and if we didn't lose that last game, I mean, we probably would have finished top 10, which would have been the highest in a long time. It probably would have rivaled some HBCU records as far as finishing in the polls. So I mean, and again, we returned. If I'm not mistaken, I think we returned 17 starters, 18 starters, something like that. So a lot of that team was coming back. So we expect to be pretty good next year.
See, that's a great point you bring up with the returners, because I was going to go into next, y'all all-world quarterback, Ryan Stanley. If you know anything about HBCU football, he's the white unicorn out there. Yeah, some of the sunshine. Yeah, exactly. That's something, it feels like the days of like Casey Theriault, man, at Jackson State, where you got the prominent white quarterback playing HBCU football. And you know how the media game goes. You're gonna get the most attention, man. So how has it been under the Ryan Stanley experience, brother?
First of all, I got to give Ryan his props, man. Ryan is the all-time leading passer in FAMU history. And FAMU technically is deemed as HBCU QBU. If you look at the history of FAMU quarterbacks, you're talking about Quinn Gray, you're talking about Ryan Stanley, you're talking. There's a long list of guys that played in the NFL to come through FAMU. And for him to top that list in yards, touchdowns, completions, I mean, he's going to go down as one of the all-time greats that ever played here at FAMU. But the media attention here is a lot different than it is at Prairie View for a lot of reasons. I mean, we have a local beat writer who's with us every day. You don't have that at Prairie View. He's literally in the building every day, and he might as well have his own office. I mean, he's interviewing players, coaches after every practice, every game, every meeting. He's right there. So our media attention is already, big, and he's tied to ESPN Tallahassee here locally. So he has his own radio show where he does nothing but FAMU for 30 minutes to an hour, just reporting on whatever the sport is going on. He's doing interviews. He's doing interviews with alumni. So the attention here is crazy. Then to top that off, you got Florida State across the street. So anytime that we're doing something great, all those, media personalities, all they have to do is come across the street. So when we went on that win streak, they did that. They were coming over and interviewing Coach Simmons. They were interviewing Ryan. They were interviewing Xavier Smith. So, I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see HBCUs getting this type of attention. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to come here, because I wanted to see the different, see HBCU football and HBCU in general on a different level as far as the attention and media attention that it gets.
Man, I like that call out, man, because and it's kind of like what we talked about earlier about optimizing the social media era and stuff like that. Having a beat writer right there with you in live time, constantly talking about the program, that's gold.
Yeah.
And no matter your affiliations, you still want to put information out about the program in real time, because people are following that. And one thing I seen too when I was kind of looking at you guys is what people had to say about y'all program. I mean, y'all had a lot of naysayers too talking about, Ryan, and I think that's good. Like, you want people talking about him though. Yeah. And he was saying a reason why I say you shouldn't draft him. I'm just like, that is a hater piece if I've ever heard. Well, how are you gonna say a kid should not be drafted?
And that's one of the reasons why I cut for Ryan. And here's a quick story. So as soon as I got here, and I told you that was a week of the UCF game, my first game. So that Wednesday, I went to an alumni luncheon. And basically, where it's a lot of the alumni who get to the program, they get a chance to talk to Coach Simmons every week. And so he brought me to introduce me as a new quarterback coach and passing game coordinator. So I go up there, I introduce myself. I tell them it's about 50, 60 people in the room. So I introduce myself. I tell them where I'm from and my relationship with Coach Simmons, and I was glad to be here, all that. And so the first question is from a lady, and she raised her hand, and she's all nice and polite. She says, "Can you tell us about the backup quarterback we have, and is he going to be ready to play?" Backup? Y'all got a legend that's been starting for 3 years. And so that really set it off for me, like, wait a minute. So there are really people here who just don't cut for Ryan, or don't think he's any good. And he's been dealing with that, come to find out, since he got here. And for him to keep pushing and to deal with that from alumni, from students, from, every naysayer that has anything to say about FAMU, a lot of times it comes down to Ryan, that they don't like Ryan. For him to block all that out and still have success is big time. Talk about mental toughness, that's what that is.
Absolutely.
Dealing with all that, adversity, dealing with people talking about you, sending you messages, calling you out, to go out there and throw a touchdown. So
I mean, he's a professional. If there was any endorsement of a guy being a professional, being able to deal with that type of scrutiny and still perform, that's who you want in your program for sure.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. It was crazy. Now they love him because he won 9 games. So the crazy world.
Go figure, man.
Crazy world.
Man, that's a great call out, brother. Because one thing you learn, you cannot listen to the sideline, man. If you listen to the sideline, you have no control of your program. You have no sense of self. You have no identity. If you listen to the whims, like God, I can go so. I can have an interview. I can just do this right here, KJ. I can just talk the rest of this time.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
Oh my goodness.
Don't do it.
Well, if I can put some of the quotes from Prairie View alone about what the basketball program should have been doing.
Don't do it. Hey, speaking of them though, shout out to Smith, man. You see him he got his extension here recently, man. 5-year extension.
But hey, I don't have a great relationship with Coach Smith. I've met him a few times doing alumni function. Shout out to my boy Gil, 5th Ward, Texas. His daughter made this shirt for us 2 years ago at homecoming for the homecoming game. Still getting buckets, PB Legends. Man, he's doing great things, and I want to connect with him a lot more to kind of keep that pipeline alive between my era. Because like the OGs come back to Prairie View, not so much the 2000s people like myself. So I want to be the beacon of change there. So shout out to him for wanting to do that and then having so much success. I mean, even we talked about offline about Trace Young, man, a 4-star candidate. Want to pull a KJ Black. Come on to the HBCU.
We need some more like it. And I think it's starting to slowly creep, into the limelight. Like I said, we signed 8 or 9 3-star kids here at FAM.
That's big, man. That's huge. So
it's it's starting to change a little bit. I think, especially here in the Southeast now, as you get more out to Texas and stuff, it's a little different. But here in the Southeast, though, we have a lot of young men who are not, afraid to come to FAMU, and they see FAMU as, the same level as a lot of these FCS programs that are recruiting them. So they're not afraid to leave the state. They'll come here to FAMU and know they're going to get a great education and get a chance to win games. So, we just got to keep it rolling.
That's what it's all about, man. And I want to touch a little bit too about the hate that Ryan got, because I remember vividly, man, being an undergrad at Prairie View, man, and like I had all these ideas about how Prairie View can evolve and grow. And what you learn is, man, evolution and progressiveness is not how the HBCU model can, roll. And you mentioned, even though, him being, well, now he's all world, but their recency bias comes in. What have you done for me lately? Yeah. Goes, and some alumni may feel a certain type of way. And this even talks about this, in this article in the Undefeated, when they highlighted, Ryan about being the best quarterback in HBCU football, being a white guy. So I remember being at Prairie View, man, and even in the student on the website, brother, and on the newspaper, it showed some of the Hispanic members of the soccer team doing community service for the university. Alumni were losing their minds that they put that on the website. I'm like, what? You don't want to accentuate student athletes doing community service on their free time just because they're not black. Yeah, I'm just like, y'all are so backwards with this thing, man. Like, and my contention has always been, what's wrong with having a black-centric university that features non-blacks buying into that model and attending the school and wanting to promote it? I don't understand how that's a problem, brother. If you got some comments on that, man, I'd love to hear your opinion on that kind of thing.
I agree with you totally. There's nothing I don't get into the racial stuff a lot, but it shouldn't matter, man. As long as it says Prairie View A&M University, or it says Florida A&M University, or it says Grambling State University, and they're doing great things to help promote, uplift, and enlarge the brand of our HBCU programs, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. So it should all be about continue to boost and elevate our universities who have the history of starting off as colored universities, or like Prairie View was Alta Vista for, I think, colored students. If I know that's the wrong name, but I know it's along those lines. But just to see where it's come and to know that we have other people who want to help continue, to uplift that program, that's what it should be about. So that's my little 2 cents on the racial deal. I'm not a big, I try not to say a lot about the political stuff, but that's just kind of how I feel about it, man. We should continue to uplift and enlarge our brands, the HBCU brand.
I agree, man. And so one thing I don't try to do is delve too much into that either, because I think there's just so much many more pressing issues than worrying about little intricacies like that. But I remember that time of my life being, 22, 21 years old and experiencing it. I'm just like, y'all really think that way? Like, you don't see the big picture. So it's just something I noticed, but I'm with you, man. Like you're spinning your wheels, worrying too much about that. Worry about what's important. And that's how you succeed, thrive, survive, and ascend to heights that you don't even know you can do.
No doubt.
I like that mindset, brother. And so, man, all right. So we talked about Ryan Stanley, all world. One thing I love is his passing consistency, man. Over 60% completion for his career, man. This year, 23 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, great ratio in that capacity, man. So how do y'all replace a guy like that, man? I want to hear this, man.
Ooh, pray about it. No, I'll be honest with you, man. Brian was really good when I got here. There were some things I had to clean up. I had to clean up, some footwork stuff in his eyes, as far as him moving through defenses and stuff like that. But I won't dive too deep into that. But once I told it to him, though, even when it comes to technical stuff with his feet or with his base or with his core or with his eyes, whenever I told it to him, he took it and ran with it. And you can see that transition. If you literally watch the games as we go through the year, and you watch, the first game, the Fort Valley State game, which really gave me 3 weeks because we had a bye week after the first game. So I got like 3 weeks to work with him. So you could tell from game 2 to game 11, he was a totally different player. And as the year went on, and he got to see what I was trying to get him to look at and how to play with his feet, matched with his arm talent, he was unstoppable. Like when we want to get something done, we put the ball in Ryan's hand and let him go.
Yeah.
So to replace something like that, it's not going to be easy, especially in our room. I have 4 guys that are going right now for that starting job, and I have only 1 start of those 4 combined guys. So a lot of inexperience, but I got a lot of talent. I'll put my room up against anybody. I've got 4 guys that can throw it. I got 2 of them that can throw it and run it. And when I say run it, I'm not talking about running for a first down. I'm talking to the crib.
Okay.
So I've got talent. So it's just going to take one of them stepping up, taking the reins of the offense, the reins of the players, and being that voice in the locker room and going out there and executing. But talent's not the issue. I just got to get one of them to show up on Saturday.
Yes. Man, and we can have a whole live just about showing up on Saturday, brother. Like,
I've seen a lot of players with talent. They don't show up on Saturday. That's why I always throw that in there. They be like, "Well, you got something?" I said, "I got something right now. We'll see what I got on Saturday, though."
Hey, and like, man, and that's a great tangent, man. I love talking to a guy who actually played the sport because we can kind of riff off into these little tangents. Because I tell people all the time, man, a lot of people disrespect like the level of talent at a Prairie View, at a FAMU, when it permeates over the whole sports spectrum. They're like, well, anybody can play that. And I want to say bullshit. Yeah. If you knew how talented these rosters are from top to bottom, and we're talking either sport.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like I know, man, in practice, some dudes, like, again, a cat almost made me quit junior college because he had bounce. He's 6'5", I'm 6'7", but I'm a young dude. It's so much talent in a given team, but it's only a certain amount of cats who can perform with that popcorn popping, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what it is, man.
Everybody looking at you take that jump shot, and everybody can't make that jump shot.
Brother.
It's different. Like when we at practice, we throwing to the same guy, we throwing these same routes. All right, a little different though. Them dudes can hit you in practice. So we got to find out. We got
You
to
got to
find out.
find out.
Got to find out who the guy is, and if I get one of them to step up, we'll do the same thing that we did this year. I'm pretty sure about that. So
that's what it
just
is.
Got to get one of them. Just got to get one of them to take the reins and run with it, and let everything else take shape.
And Coach, I want to ask you this, man. Since we kind of delve into this tangent, how so you have been a player that I think we have advantage and advantage in this sense, having known how it feels to be in the trenches. Is there any way you can kind of expedite that approach to kind of like understand who's your gamer and who's your practice player kind of guy?
No,
is that
no. You know what? I've seen guys because guys get comfortable in practice.
Yeah.
Right. I'm playing against my boys. I'm playing against people I've been going against for months. So I'm not worried about missing a throw. I'm not worried about getting hit. Even in basketball, like I'm not worried about missing a jump shot because it's only 5 of us on this team, and I'm not gonna get subbed out. I'm just taking shots I want to take. It's a little different when you get in the game and you take the wrong shot, you make the wrong cut, you set the wrong screen. Come holler at me, come sit down. At the end of the game, you make the wrong read, you make the wrong throw, you get a sack when you're not supposed to get sacked. Come here, I got somebody for you.
Yeah.
So it's a different pressure, man. It's a different pressure, especially here at FAM where every home game is packed out. Like every home, it don't matter who we playing, it's packed out. There's at least 10 to 15,000 people every game. So it's a little different making that 15-yard throw in practice than it is when you got 15,000 eyes on you. It's a little different. So, it's something that I think is hard. You can't teach it. There's no way you can teach it. You either got it or you don't. So, a lot of guys can do it in high school because, again, they're comfortable. But college is a little different.
And that's why I try to always tell people, man, that, me running hoop jargon for a minute, you get a lot of guys who didn't really play that level and they kind of like casually, they handle athletes in a certain way. And I just want to say, man, you just don't understand how it feels when them lights on you. I don't care what program, what level. Again, you coming from Western Kentucky, obviously a bigger program from Prairie View. I know you felt that heat when you was on the center in Blackshear Field, man. I know you were cognizant of what your moves meant, especially once you learned about what those victories, what your performances meant. So naturally, you're going to feel that pressure to keep that up because you know how it go, man. Once you set a standard, people going to hold you to that standard, man. It's not easy at all, man.
The first time, well, not the first time, but one time that it really hit me was going to my senior year, my first home game, because I missed the first 3 games. I was hurt. I tore my ACL, but my first game back was a home game, and we hadn't lost a home game at Prairie View in 2 years. And so I remember it was like 4th down on like the 10-yard line going in. We was going in to score on the 10-yard line, and it was 4th down, and we called a pass, and I threw the ball. It was high, and the receiver dropped it, but it was a bad pass. I could have made a better pass. And I remember just sitting there, and I heard how quiet it was in that stadium. Everybody was like, man, we just lost at home. Because we hadn't lost in 2 years. I just seeing the players' reaction, like Alabama State celebrated like they had won a natty. Like they were so hyped because they knew.
I remember that.
They were so hyped. I was like, man, I really just lost this home game. And it's just a different feeling, man. Don't ever think, and I tell people all the time, don't ever think because you don't see us on TV that we can't play. Bottom line.
There you go.
Because you can go on YouTube right now. There's a channel I watched before. I thought it was pretty cool. There's a D3 black basketball player that goes around and challenges people in the hood and plays them in basketball and kills them. It's this white dude. D3 basketball, plays for the love of the game, giving people work. So don't ever think you can go out there and play at a university or a school because they're not a Power 5 institution or a Group of 5 institution. There's some talent in the FCS level and HBCUs too.
I agree, man. And I tell people all the time, man, in my era at Prairie View, we had open tryouts. And so all the cats, because you know how it go, man. In the new gym, in the purple courts, everybody think, our basketball team, they trash. And we would be their huckleberry. Like, man, shout out to my boy D Sharp, bro. We had like an and1 mixtape tour, bro. We would go we would pull up on you and go hoop, you know what I'm saying? That's our thing, man. Because our record wasn't all that, but we was like, you at least gonna know we better than you. Because in their minds on campus, these dudes, sorry, I could do that. And then we had them open trials, bro. No BS, man. Guys who were killing intramurals. They couldn't even like run the sprints. Like they couldn't even get to the basketball part. And I tell cats all the time, being in basketball shape, being in football shape on that level, it's a different monster, man. It's different.
Mm-hmm.
Brother, I remember like at SFA, my best mile I ran was 5 minutes and 35 seconds.
Ooh.
Right? Pretty damn good. Now I'm around 12 minutes now.
Yeah, me too. I'm at least 12 minutes right now.
And I'm good. I'm good with 12 minutes. Like
absolutely. I'll be fine with my 12 minutes. I'll be sharing my 12 minutes.
You feel me? Yeah, I'll share it. Yeah. I'm at 12. Yeah. Holla at your boy. But my point is, I was running a 5:35 mile. And I remember we used to do like scrimmages. Bro, I couldn't go 2 minutes up and down the court. I'd be like, come get me. It's different, bro. It's different, man.
It is. And a lot of people, they just have to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
But they learn.
Yeah. And like Pat said, man, Pat played at University of Houston, man. He played overseas for a litany of years, man. He said, the boys in the stands there, you can play until the shit hits the fan, and then you're there trying to play. It's different, man. Like Kobe Bryant, it's different, man. Shout out to Coach AB out at Baylor, man. He said this on our interview last week, 2 weeks ago. Like what Kobe Bryant did, I don't know if you remember, he had a one-on-one game against Bow Wow's partner. His partner was like 6'6". Kobe Bryant demolished him. He demolished him. They're the same height, same build. Kobe destroyed him, and he's like, "Hey, man, it's different when you look at the great white shark from the outside of the tank, and when you're in there swimming with him."
No doubt.
So that's what I say. So, man, you mentioned about who y'all playing this year, and I want to talk about one of the story HBCU programs y'all got on the schedule this year, and y'all actually play them at home this year. That's gonna be Southern University, man. Like y'all came back and beat them last year, 27-21. So with a program like that, man, like are y'all looking forward to this competition when y'all playing this following year?
Man, actually, that's one of the bigger rivalries in HBCU football. It's one that we just renewed recently this past year, and I mean, it's that game. That was my first experience at a FAMU home game. Like the game before that, we played a D2 school. I mean, it was still packed out, but to see the turnout for the Southern game and the reaction, and if you watch the highlights online on YouTube, you can feel the energy in the building. Even when we threw the game-winning touchdown, like you couldn't hear. You felt like you was in a stadium of 60,000. Like that place went crazy. So, I mean, it was hard hitting. There was a lot of trash talking between alumni and the players on the field. And then this year we got to take it to Baton Rouge, so I can't wait to go because I already know Friday night, the night before the game, I'm going to get me some food. I know where I'm going, so I can't wait to go. But I also can't wait to go get that W because as a player, I was, I never beat Southern. I mean, not never beat, but I never lost to Southern. Excuse me. I beat them twice, and I always, to me, they're always a rival, just like Grambling. So I that's one that I want. One that I talk a lot during the week. The ones that I really want, my players know I want it. That week, I'm gonna be a little different because there's nothing better in my mind than going to Southern and getting a W. So, that it's gonna be one that I'm pretty sure is gonna be televised. Might be the HBCU game of the week. But if you, everybody that's watching, if you get a chance to go and see the HBCU game, that might be the one to go to. FAM Southern in Baton Rouge might be pretty good.
Agreed. And my apologies, I mixed the two around. Y'all beat them at your place last time, so now you're going to BR. And BR can be a little tough if y'all understand. Southern is one of the legacy franchises in the HBCU world. They bring their fans no matter where. They're gonna pull up wherever. So just imagine playing out there in the dirty BR, man.
We travel too now everywhere. We did a game in DC this year, and we had like a few thousand up in DC.
It's pretty good.
Like a 14-hour ride or something like that. Yeah. So, I mean, it's FAMU fans everywhere. They'll be in BR. We're gonna have some orange there.
There you go.
It's gonna be good. I'm telling you, if you can get to one, Cliff, you need to get to that one. If you can get to one.
All right. I'm gonna do it, man. I need some passes though, man. I'm gonna have to come out there.
Look, hey, I told you I'm a co-OC now. I get more tickets, so I got you.
There you go. I want to get on the media session though. I want to talk to y'all after the game or just get footage, man. I want to boost that HBCU profile out, bro.
That's easy. I got you.
Done. I'm gonna hold you to that stand. I'm gonna hit you up, KJ. Don't ignore my text, man. When I hit you.
I responded last time. I got you right last
time. You right. Boys get big time on me sometimes, man. I'll be like, yo, listen, man. Don't let me pull up on you.
Hey, I'm a man of my word. I'm telling you, I'm a man of my word.
Absolutely. I can attest to that. Man, all right. So, man, and great comment about Pat. He's like, people can talk sports. They need to understand the difference between talking and actually playing, man. It's tough, man. When you's in that gauntlet, you know what it is, man, and you respect other talent so much more when you out there in the field. So I agree with that, brother.
Even when I watch ESPN and NFL Network, like a lot of those guys who ain't been in them trenches, I don't pay them no mind. Like, they say whatever they want to, like Skip Bayless. No, Skip, stop. Hey, you
Skip,
never
come on, Skip.
Come on, man. Guys like that I know ain't never been in them trenches, they never caught an elbow or been hit with a blind. I don't pay them no attention. They don't know what it's like. They think, therefore they say, rather than being in it and reacting to what just happened. So they don't know.
Absolutely, man. I got my if you see my nose is crooked, basketball. I have a split here in my upper jaw and my tooth broken. This tooth fell out, basketball.
Look, I got 2 knee surgeries, both knees gone. So I've been through it.
It's a sacrifice, man. It's a sacrifice, man. So we got a great question from Jerome Tarver, man. PV football alum, man.
What up,
so
Tarver?
Yeah, man. You saw my boy Jay Tarver. We're repping that Bay Area, man. So what's the biggest difference you notice between FAMU and PV as far as football programs?
The FAMU actually loves and boast about who they are and who they were, and no matter where we go, like I mentioned earlier, FAMU gonna show up. Like they just take a different type of pride in their program, and it's I'll be honest with you, it's giving me life. Like it's just a different feeling, man. It's seeing those alumni and hearing them talk about the greats that have come here from FAM and how much of a high regard they hold them in. I mean, even when you first walk in the door at FAMU's facility, you look up literally above the door, the front door, and you can see all the national championships that they won. And I think it's like 13 or 14 of them. You can see all the Black college national championships that they won. Nobody knows this, especially out in Texas, but FAMU is the only HBCU to ever won a national championship, meaning not HBCU, I'm talking the actual national championship. FAMU won it. Like, so the legacy, the tradition is different. I mean, just the way, and I talked about this earlier when we was talking, Cliff, just the way the players play and go hard and they go through anything. They don't care about nothing else other than playing ball. Like, they don't care about the facility. They don't care about what's going on outside the field. When they're on that field, they're giving it everything. It's just a different environment. It's a different world, man. It's almost, and it's crazy to say this because of the perspective people hold Texas football in, but football out here in Florida is different. Like, it's different. Like I was really shocked and surprised at, the way FAMU holds in the regard they hold their programming. Like it's big time. Yeah, I feel like I'm at an FBS program a lot of days. I'll be honest with you.
And that's how it should be, man. And this again, that's something I've always challenged, Prairie View alum to think on that scale. Like, think on that level. We talk all that noise about Jackson. We talk all that noise about Grambling. We talk all that noise about Southern alum. But they hold a program in such esteem that we should be doing the same. And not in the sense of comparison. We shouldn't be comparing ourselves to themselves. We should have our own pride and our own stuff. And that's something I try to tell a lot of people, man. Like, listen.
I always told myself, man, and this is something I hope to do one day. If I ever got a shot, right, to be the head coach at Prairie View, that's something I would hammer home. Like, I got to find a way to get people back in the stands. Like, if you remember the old ways we used to do basketball games in the Baby Dome, why can't we do that on the football field?
Go Members Club. For sure.
Why can't it be a party at the football field? Like, we could definitely do that. And it don't have to be all 15,000. But if we just take, like, that bottom section and just make that, like, Club PV or something like that. So,
there it goes. Man,
you got to make Prairie View what it is. Like, we can't be SFA. We can't be Southern, but we can be us. Exactly. Like, we know how to have a time. We can be us. So why can't we just take that to football? Like Prairie View has to realize who it is and just take hold of that and just take it to another level rather than trying to be, whoever. Be PV. If you be PV, that's going to be fine. I promise you.
Hashtag that shit. BPV. I like that. I love that, actually. I'm going to make a shirt. BPV. Don't compare yourself to nobody else, man, because we are the man. And Tacho said it best, and this question is kind of not related, but it is. You know what I'm saying? So, because one thing we're known as our strong homecoming presence. We're known as being guys who produce, DJ Premier went to Prairie. DJ Chose, DJ Mr. Rogers, Superstar, Kirk Cobain's, DeRoe. The names go on and on.
Bone. Shout out to
Bone, my
Yeah.
roommate. You know what I'm saying?
What's the little group that was at used to live in Brookside?
Um,
Oh man,
is it
Party
Brook
Boys.
Gang?
Was it Party Boys?
Party Boys. Yeah, that's Mr. Rogers' group.
Yeah, come on, man. So, I mean, that's who we are. This thing, if we brought that back, like,
absolutely.
If you could bring them back and have them do something for the program, you know what I mean? Make a intro video. Make a be on the sideline for homecoming. Do a homecoming halftime performance. Man, you could just be us. If Prairie View becomes themselves and just uplift that and takes hold of that, it'll take off.
That's a great. See, now my mind thinking as you're talking, because if you go to a Dallas Cowboy game, you watch Michael Irvin go on the loud screen. And Irvin is going to be a Cowboy for life, man. And he just amps the crowd up. You see sometimes Jamie Foxx comes and amps the crowd up. That's what you need, though. Like on that big screen, like bring all this talent that's come through Prairie View. Who they would do it in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like trust and believe. Tacho, I know you watching. Let's push this BPV initiative, man. Let's get some of these people who are Prairie View alum to come back to campus. Like even me, I'll come fly down and cover the PV, man. I want people to understand. Man, I'll come to FAMU and cover FAMU, bro. Like I really want people to understand. Like it's so much opportunity you got to really boost up the program using the avenues that are applicable to, what's going on. But I don't want to ignore Tacho question because you asked it twice, bro. So knowing what we know, who got the better homecoming, bro?
It's different. So,
all right, go ahead.
So PV, our homecoming is a big party. Like it literally is a party. It's not. I've been to FAM's homecoming. I played at Alcorn, so I got a taste of theirs. I played at Southern, so I got a chance to walk around and see theirs. Prairie View just different, man. Prairie View's homecoming it's even sectioned off to where whatever your flavor is, we got you. If you want to have a big party and you want to be in a club, you can go here. If you want to just sit at the RVs and get food and talk about the good old days, you can go here. I mean, if you want to go and do a party out in the woods, like they just put recently on Twitter with all these mean stuff about parking, but people don't even know it's actually Prairie View, where the car is parked sideways along the street. Like that's PV. If you want to do the outdoor party, we got a party for that. Like Prairie View just is for everybody all at one time. Yeah, FAMU, from perspective of a number of people there, FAMU got a lot of people at homecoming. Like it's a lot of people, too many people. So the food is great. They actually have a street, Perry Street, which is connected right behind the football field, and it's literally nothing but vendors, like from stop sign to stop sign, and it's a long stretch now. It ain't no little street; it's a long stretch. Mm-hmm. And it's shoulder to shoulder as you're walking down the street, and it's nuts. Like people selling stuff, people eating, people talking, people dancing, people doing it's crazy. So FAMU definitely has a great homecoming setup as well. So I'm not gonna pick one. I just try to lay it out for y'all. So whatever your flavor is, if you want to party, you go to PV. If you want to eat good, you want to see a bunch of people, and you go to FAMU.
I see you listen to your wife, man. I know you see her in the chat, man. Say don't answer it.
That's why I'm still married. I listen to her.
She see the cover, man. She like, don't do it.
That's my baby.
No, and I have to agree. Not having gone to FAMU's university, homecoming, but what you see is a lot of setups to homecomings are a lot different. I've been to TSU, SFAs, obviously. It's just different. It really is. Now, I'll go ahead and say Prairie View is the best, but it depends on what you like. I mean, if you don't want to be, doing this all day trying to move through the crowd, then Prairie View may not be for you.
I'm just telling you, I'm gonna say this though. I've never been to a PV homecoming and not left happy and satisfied. Like I've just never. Every time I go, like it's a great time. Not because I know people, but because of everything I got a chance to do. That's all I'm saying.
Agreed.
Because it's a great time, man.
Agreed, bro. Because I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck, man. Shout out Tacho. Yeah, let's get it started, man. BPV. Hey, let it know. KJ started this, man.
I'm about to put my copyright infringement audit on that. I'm about to get a license for that. Hey, they better hire me too. If I see that on a shirt, I need to get my money.
Hey, yeah, there you go, man. BPV.
Yeah.
But no, like it's so. I'm gonna keep it a buck, man. When I was an undergrad, I never really went to homecoming. Like I just was so engulfed with the season. That's like when we just were getting started. I was just too tired, man. Like I would walk. I would go to a football game to show support. I walk the tailgate one time, and I go in the room. And my girl at the time, we hang out. Now she was more. She had like her mom was the dean of agriculture at the time, so she had to go be more political than me. I ain't care about that kind of thing back then. I just care about basketball.
Yeah.
But when I graduated, I was like, damn, man, I was tripping. I should have been out of the mix. Like, I didn't have that mentality back then. I was all about basketball. That's all I cared about.
I'm just telling you, if I could get all my people back home, like in Kentucky, to get to a PV homecoming, I'd blow their mind.
Twice over. Just get a hotel, man. Here's my piece of advice. Get a hotel as soon as you can, as close as you can to campus.
Close. Yep.
Close, because you are going to have a good time. Let me put it that way.
Make it 30-minute ride. You're not making it.
So, man, that's good, man. I love the juxtaposition between, your two schools. And, man, I like the fact that you love your new job. You love where you are playing, under Coach Willie, after you definitely having that relationship at Prairie View to start off, man. And so, so we talked about you bringing those 3-star guys in. You're looking to replace the quarterback, this year, man. So what do you see the overall in totality, the Florida A&M program this year, man?
Kind of hard to say because of what we're going through right now. We look great on paper. I mean, we had the highest, recruiting class in the country in HBCU. We were number 10 overall in the country, so that's including PWI. So that's big time to be number 10.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I mean, like I said, we had all the stars that we signed, the most stars in program history. I mean, returning 3 All-Americans on the team, 17 or 18 starters coming back. So we're loaded on paper, but we just got to see what we got when we put the pads on. So I'm excited. Everybody's looking to me because we don't have a quarterback. Everybody says we got a quarterback, we'll do it again. So if we win 9 games, I'm gonna look great. If we win 5, I'll probably be fired. But,
come on back to Prairie View, bro. Come on back, man.
But I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if we weren't pretty good this year. To be honest with you, I'd be shocked.
There it is, man. I noticed y'all don't have too many. Y'all don't have any FBS opponents on there. So, hey, man, don't take that steamroll.
We got one. UCF.
Oh, you're playing UCF again?
Yeah, man.
Oh, I didn't see it on the website. Okay, maybe they omitted that.
The quick statement on UCF. Anybody that wants to know if they're for real or not? Yes, they're for real. And
they got y'all 61-0, man.
They are the fastest team I've ever seen. Like how fast they snap the ball is ridiculous. They are stupid fast. So they're pretty good.
Well, I hope y'all get a chance to get back in them, man. Because they worked y'all over pretty good last year. But I mean, that's how it goes in that dynamic.
That was my first week, man. That don't count. We got something for them this year, though.
You got something for them? Okay.
We're gonna put some points up.
There you go, man. I like that. And before we leave out, man, I really appreciate your time, KJ, man. I know, you're a busy man. You're a guy who, definitely got, a lot on your shoulders with your many titles. You kind of the Cordell Stewart of coaches. You're the game day prep quarterback guy. You're the coordinator.
Yeah, man. It's good, though. I'd rather have them than not have them, man, especially where I'm at in my career, man. So I'm just eternally grateful, for where I've been at Prairie View and opportunities I got at PV. I'm eternally grateful to, the man that's hired me and giving me a job again here at FAMU and giving me raise after raise. So, I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm blessed, man, and try to keep doing good things. Ever since I've been with Coach Simmons, we have never had a losing season. So hopefully that continues. Let me knock on wood. But we've been blessed. They're my dog and we're barking stuff. But
all right, man. Before we go, man, I just want to kind of touch on this because I see the kind of one thing I try to do is try to read the wave before the wave happens. I kind of see the tea leaves before they materialize, and so what you're seeing now is an awakening of Black athletes being more cognizant of the HBCU experience, man. And so again, we talked about Trace Young, we talked about guys like yourself and myself who have a later renaissance about going to HBCU. So, it's kind of being in vogue now to include the HBCU model into your experience as a recruit. Do you see that continuing on, or does he think that's just a social media trend, or do you think it's going to be something that's going to be more prevalent with the years to come?
I think it's going to actually continue to evolve, and the number of student athletes that are actually interested in HBCUs is going to increase. And I'll let you know, I've had guys with 4 or 5 stars reach out to me here recently and say, "Hey, coach, I'm interested in FAMU." So I don't think it's a sporadic thing. I think it's about to increase, not maybe to the point to where we're getting as many as the FBS schools or FCS schools, PWIs, but I think we'll get more than people realize we'll get. I mean, it's something that I think as we've gotten more and more graduates in our HBCUs, and now they're branching off and being more successful in the world, and now they're having kids and starting to say, "Hey, I had a great time at such and such university, should probably look into it." I mean, that's a lot of the time when we get kids who are 4 or 5 star, recruits, it's because we have a connection, HBCU connection. Their parents were an HBCU grad. Their parents went to this HBCU. I have friends who are at HBCUs who tell them about how much fun they're having. And then even to the point now to where, and we talk about it all the time here at FAM, we get Florida State students on FAMU campus all the time. So it's going to slowly start to increase as far as the number of student athletes who are interested in HBCUs. And I think it's going to be great for us, and hopefully it can bring more money and more media attention to HBCU athletics and to the universities as well. So I'm hoping that number continues to increase.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. Because I think, once people are like, we live in a monkey see, monkey do culture, man. So once people show that, hey, I can go this route and succeed, and you document it, that's when people alleviate some of those, apprehensions they have about going that way. And you see guys going now to the G League. You see guys willing to go overseas and break the traditional model, because the traditional model is where we all feel safe. The HBCU experience is not included in the traditional model. So guys are more privy to understand, in this information age, you can go kill at FAMU, you can go kill at Jackson, you can go kill at Prairie View, and your online footage will build your legacy. You don't have to. It ain't even permits in the NBA. Guys can go to OKC and do their thing. You don't necessarily have to have the prominent spectrum of mainstream media to get your legacy out there, man. So I think it's going to be a great transition, in the era with that, man. And before we leave, man, Jerome asking Ian, bro. So he want to talk about UCF.
Jerome's trying to talk ball, man. You can't let Jerome have all these questions.
All right, I'm gonna end them right here.
I already know how Jerome. He's gonna ask about X and O's here in a second. So I already know what he's gonna do.
Oh man. All right, so man, this is what did all right, fair enough. He says, so the repetition and quickness that make UCF who they are, quotations watching UCF on TV thinking, damn, they can't stop that. What is it like playing against them with all that speed?
It's a blur. Literally, and I mean, I'm not gonna get into the details of it, but literally,
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't give the secrets away.
They try to snap the ball before you're lined up, and they do it every time. So you can't. They're very simple in what they do, but they do it so fast you don't get a chance to make calls to line up on defense, and they just roll it. So if they catch you one time off guard, it's over with. When they get you on your heels, it's like boxing. Once I catch you with one, it's over.
Done.
Yeah, and they don't slow up. So I mean, and they got talent. They do have talent, but it's speed, man. As far as how fast they can get lined up at play after play and be efficient, they big time.
Something like the old Oregon Chip Kelly model, man. Them boys was.
Yeah. And think about it on another level. They rolling. They are rolling.
So again, man, so I wish y'all much success with that, man. And I want to talk a little bit about I'm sorry, Florida teams you like, but I'm gonna spare you this time because.
Come on, man. No, I give you one of those. I give you one of those.
All right, man. So what them sorry Jaguars gonna do, man?
I need everybody. Look, this is my 2 cents now. This is my 2 cents. If you want to make some money, okay? Want to make some money? Bet on the Jaguars on their win-loss total to be over, and then come and thank me later.
Man, do you already know who y'all quarterback is, KJ?
Do you know?
I mean, maybe Garner Minshew, but I mean
that's who the quarterback's gonna be. But if you go look at the win total, I think they got to win in 3 games. They don't win more than 3 games. They won 6.
Okay. All right, I go with that.
Yeah. So don't we ain't that sorry. Are we gonna win the Super Bowl? No. But we're not 3 wins.
Well, yeah, that's kind of understatement, KJ. Of course, y'all not winning the Super Bowl, bro.
I'm just telling you. Respect. Are we gonna be young? We're gonna be young, so we're not gonna be a Super Bowl team, but we better than you think.
Well, I mean, I would hope y'all better than 3 wins, dog.
Team. We're not that sorry now.
Yeah, y'all not. Y'all got a good defense. Yeah, well, your wife just spoke.
Oh Lord,
y'all suck.
You watch. Man, I'm not about to start with her. But
she said, "Who that's okay? All right,
man.
But where's Aaron from?
Texas.
Oh man, Texas Saints. Man, get out of here. Get out of here.
But she from Longview. I don't want to hear that. I don't want none of that.
Well, Longview's kind of close to Shreveport. But
I ain't hear none of
Louisiana people don't claim Shreveport, so that shit don't even count.
Exactly. There's a big difference between North Louisiana and South Louisiana. Big difference.
Exactly. I know so many people from Shreveport that just don't feel the love from the rest of the state, man.
That's like lower. That's like Mississippi or something like that. That's what I hear.
Yeah, man, that don't count.
But yeah, that's like Mississippi.
That's like Texas. Somebody from Laredo, like,
maybe not like New Mexico.
Man, with KJ, man, it's been a great time, man. I really appreciate you taking your morning out, well, your morning for me, to talk to your boy, man. And man, so I want you to leave people with the platform to be able to follow you and see what the program's doing and let them know how to reach you, man.
Man. So you know, I'm a Twitter guy, so I'm on Twitter. I think it's at Coach Black _QB. If you wanna follow me on Twitter, I do more Twitter than anything else. I'm on IG as well at Coach KJ Black. You can follow FAMU, at FAMU Athletics on Twitter. I think that's also the handle for IG. But doing a lot of great things. The university is doing a lot of great things on campus, on the field, you know, in the classroom. So if you have someone, you know, a high school student that's looking to go to a great university that's you know, highly regarded academically, FAMU is definitely one to look up and be interested in. If you need anything or any advice as far as what to expect at FAMU, or you know, if FAMU has something that you're looking for, you know, definitely reach out to me and I'll do what I can to answer your question.
And Coach, I know we wrapping, and I want to ask you one more question because I want every coach to really speak on this. So you mentioned about, you know, knowing about FAMU and if athletes want to do this. What things should kids not be doing on their social media if they're on the radar to be recruited, what have you? Because I really want your opinion on that, brother.
I don't think a lot of these high school prospects understand that when you like something, so you hit that heart, other people can see what you like. So if you hitting likes on inappropriate stuff, it then hits my timeline and I see it. And I'm like, who put this on my timeline? And I look above it and I see your tag, your Twitter handle. Your name pops up there. So a lot of those guys understand, like, Twitter can put you on the map, but it can also deteriorate your name and your brand because of what you're liking and what you're interested in. There's a lot of guys that as soon as I like their film, I watch their film, I get on their Twitter and I just scroll for like 2 months. I'm trying to see who you are. So if I find that you're liking inappropriate stuff, you're cursing in your tweets, you're you know, there's no workouts on the Twitter page, I'm not going to be interested in you. So a lot of these young men don't understand that just because you like something and you retweet it, don't think that somebody else is not paying attention or not seeing that on their own timeline. So I see a lot of guys get in trouble with that. So just be conscious about Twitter. Twitter is being used more as a business handle rather than a social handle. So you can easily get in trouble and maybe something that you thought you were going to get as far as getting that scholarship, getting that you know, getting that attention from that school that you want to get recruited by, and you can ruin it all by hitting one like. So I think these young men just really need to be conscious about what they're liking and what they're looking at on Twitter, and just be aware, man.
Man, I love that message so much. And I want to come out of your mouth unrehearsed because, again, my former athletes, man, some of them I see them when they're smoking weed, doing all kind of crazy stuff. I'm just listening.
You'd be surprised because I've got, I mean, just so you know, this is my process. I don't. It's not right, wrong, or indifferent. So if I'm recruiting, let's say I'm recruiting a player from Atlanta, okay, and I'm going through his film. I like his film. I instantly add him to a list on Twitter, right? So it's a special list of just recruits. So then daily, I'm going through that list and I'll click the list and it makes its own timeline of just the recruits that I'm interested in. So I'm instantly seeing everything that you're putting out, everything that you're liking, you're retweeting. I see it every day. And so what happens is as days go on, you forget that you're on that list. So 3 months later, you like or you retweet someone. I'm like, whoa, like, do I really want to put, this young man into our program knowing that he might, shine a bad light towards FAMU and then ultimately towards me because I brought you there. So just be conscious, man. Social media is a great thing, but a lot of people don't understand the power that it has.
Okay, so you heard it from a coach, not me trying to preach to your kids. I want you to understand, because my whole purpose for this platform is to inform people, because a lot of people, again, they talk out their ass and they don't understand how this process goes from being recruited, from being coveted, to understand all the intricacies. They just think, oh, my son, my daughter's good enough. Why no coach is talking to my kid? Or what? It's like a job interview. It's so much. And you mirroring the same thing Coach AB told me from Baylor. Like in their program, they got a person they hire to go scout. So you're doing this on your own time, which is great.
On my own time, yeah.
They got a guy who gets employed to just only scrub through people's social media pages. So y'all got to understand, man, it's real in the field.
You can lose a scholarship like that, like instantly. So
yeah. So thank God they couldn't follow my Black Planet page back then, because it'd have been some questions. My MySpace page.
Planet. I ain't heard Black Planet in a minute.
Hey, Black Planet was my thing back then, man.
Wow.
There you go, man. But KJ, man, thank you for your time, brother. Man, we got to do it again a little quicker than 3 years in between. And so,
sure, man, whatever you need, man, let me know. If you want to get to a game and you're gonna be there, let me know. I got you. And we'll go from there.
Man, send me some coaches, man. I want people to put this word out, because I want people to understand how real it is, man. It's not tiddlywinks out here. It's not easy to play on this level, man. And you got to be ready mentally, physically, and as we talked about, from your social media spectrum, man. This is a job, man. So, man, shout out to you, brother. Until next time, man, we gonna ride it out, and peace, everybody.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.